Okay, so here I am in Barbara's house. She's fantastically letting me film in here. And as you can see, I've took the concrete out of the form and had someone help me carry it in. Always carry it standing up. Don't carry it flat. If I got a hairline fracture carrying it, but turning it to put it onto the countertop, but not a big deal. It's all together. I use plenty of reinforcement, and it adds to the distressed look. See, we've got these like holes in pitting areas when we pulled it out, and if you really want to, you can make a slurry mix and fill it in. But I like to just fill it in with the epoxy, and it makes it look like, you know, it's some natural stone that came out of the earth somewhere, and I think it makes for a much better look. And then, as you can see, I installed the sink, did a wonderful undermount sink. Alright, so what I did is I took the fixture back out so that we can really get good coverage of the acid stain in the knockout holes, even though they're not going to be seen. And then masked off the sink. The acid will wash off, you know, within the first 30 minutes, 45 minutes, it'll wash off with water. So if you do get it on any surface that you're not pleasant with, like say a cabinet or metal sink or the wall or something like that, you can just clean it right up with the baking soda water that we use to neutralize the acid. So now these are unfinished cabinets, so I really don't want to get acid on them because it will make I'll have to be back sanding it. You don't want to do that. So just make sure. What I do is I use painter's masking paper and just regular painter's masking tape, and I try to make a shelf with the paper so that it stays up, so that any and all liquids and drops stay up off the ground and up off of everything. So what we'll do is I'll finish masking off all the back and all around so that I just have this enclosed area for the countertop, and then I'll when we come back, I'll show you how I apply the acid. Alright, so to put the acid down, I'm going to put it in this pump sprayer. But before I do it, I filled it up with water, and I'm gonna pressurize it so I can see what the spray pattern looks like. You'd hate to, or you can use a bigger one that you know, you use for weeds or whatever. But you kind of just want to see what it's going to look like. See, now it's kind of doing this like straight line. So I want to adjust it just. See, I like that, just like that. So if it has this kind of consistency, then when it hits it, it'll come out with a much cooler design. Now I know a lot of the manufacturer's recommendations, they tell you to smooth in the acid and wash it, and so that it's all one tone. If you want just one tone, that's great, but it makes a really cool effect if you just spray it on like this and let it get all kinds of different puddles and different things like that. You'll see when we go in there and do it. But so make sure you're adjusted good, and then when you open the acid, be really careful with it. Make sure you got gloves on. Make sure that you've got something to protect your eyes and your nose and your mouth. And so I've got just a old pair of safety glasses, and I'm going to use a respirator. But once you got that all set up, put your stuff on and then work with the acid. We're just going to pour it directly into this. You don't thin it or anything like that. And then we'll go directly onto the countertop. So let's go do it. That's just the water that was in there. This is Satillo Brown, and it's just going to add a little bit of accent to it. Okay, I put about 4 or 5 tablespoons of baking soda in this container and just filled it up with water and mixed it up thoroughly. It's just baking soda and water. Baking soda is really cheap, so you can use it as liberally or as little as you want. The chemical reaction is still going to behave the same way. Get a good pressure and then just spray it. And you can see the chemical reaction starting to take place. Now, if you draw something in there and you see this going all crazy and moving everywhere, don't worry. The acid is set. It's not going to change its shape or color or anything like that, which is really cool. Now, the baking soda just freezes it in time almost. You can see it bubbling up like crazy. That's telling you that the reaction is working perfectly. All right, so the next process is get a bucket of really clean water and a big sponge, and you just got to clean it. You can see, I don't know if you can zoom in on this, Dad, but
it's pretty dark. There you go, yeah, zoom in, it's better.
You can see how as I wipe it away, those original designs and colors and things stayed. So that's really cool, and just rinse a lot. You can, 1 bucket of water, you do 1 whole complete wipe down, and then we'll switch to cleaner water, and then do another wipe down. We'll do that about 4 times. That's it. Okay, so we've let the countertops dry just overnight, and then you can just feel it. You can feel if there's any extra residue or anything like that left over, so we did a pretty good job cleaning these up. I have got here on the countertop, I've got the waterborne epoxy, which is a 2-part mixture that has a catalyst. And these are already pre-measured out, as you can see, so this is a 4-to-1 ratio. Now, if you don't have a lot of space to use, like the countertops we have here, just like if you want to mix half a gallon, then just go half of the quart, so that you really get that exact. You don't got to weigh it or anything like that. It doesn't have to be that exact, but at least within reason. So, alright, so I've waited like 15 minutes to let the chemical reaction really take place inside. You know, stirred it a little bit, mixed it around. So, as you can see, I'm right at the end here. This is like the last stroke for this countertop. And by the time I get to the end of this, and what has this been, like 15 minutes since we shut the camera off?
Mm-hmm.
So, just going to get some nice even strokes in there. And then, as you can see, that part where we started already is curing. So, within 30 minutes, it'll be close to dry. And then in 4 hours, we'll put that second coat on. But such a neat. All right, so this shows that crisscross pattern I was telling you about. I brushed it on one direction, then brushed it on the other. You can see the lines going in both directions there. That's just a zoom in on the whole countertop. So I'll put the final coat going in the long direction of it, and it'll hide a lot of that. But that creates a whole cool feature to it. So you can even, like I said before, you can totally add your own little handiwork with circles or different shapes. You can even do shapes when you apply the top coat. So anything that you want to make. So this is after the second coat, and you'll notice there's still some areas like this in these holes that the epoxy is still white. Again, don't worry about that stuff. Just keep going, keep adding your coats, trying to fill in holes, and within enough time, those holes will get filled like these holes right here are filled in. So you can see the one on the left is still white, but the ones in the middle and stuff are filled in, and they will cure clear. So when it's finished, you'll be able to step back and just see this whole shiny surface. Don't forget to have fun.